Hey everybody, it's nice to see you, even though I can't see you. I hope you're all doing really well. I know I see a lot of you for neck and upper back issues, and since I can't see you for now and for who knows how long, I wanted to make a quick video of some really easy ways that you can take care of your neck at home, especially when you're feeling a lot of pain, like headaches. And some of that stress. So even if you don't normally have neck pain, some of you might be feeling some of the results of that lately because a lot of us are extra tense, and when we carry a lot of tension and stress in our shoulders, that tends to creep up through our neck because these big shoulder muscles, the trapezius muscles actually come up and attach at the back of our neck and the base of our skull. And we can get what are called trigger points, and those refer pain up into our head. And so if you're getting headaches that come up and over your ear, that can be caused by these big muscles. We can talk about other muscles another day. I just wanted to do more of an easy trapezius release today because that's a really common area that can cause headaches and tension. So the first thing to make sure you're aware of before you do any form of self-massage and self-care is know that one, this is not meant to diagnose or to treat any existing condition in any therapeutic way. This is literally just some simple self-care, and it's really important to know that if it causes any form of pain or anything outside of minor discomfort that feels good, then you should stop. So if your body's saying, no, this doesn't feel good, immediately stop. If it's causing pain, immediately stop. If you do it, when you do it the first time, please only do it for a very short period of time. And if it doesn't feel good after, please stop. And generally just be mindful and cautious as you proceed with any form of self-treatment, and self-massage. So there's that. Always listen to your body. I'm trying to make sure that's what it. So in the course of treating, normally we warm up your tissues and then we work a little deeper and then we clear out your tissues again. And so you'll notice there's usually long sweeping strokes and then the deeper work and then long sweeping strokes again. What I find when even I treat myself is often I just get in there and treat myself and that's it. There's no warm up or cool down. And so sometimes I feel worse after I treat myself, which is quite counterproductive. So what I am going to suggest is that you start by warming up the area that you want to work on. And I will go through some of the movements that you can do to warm up your neck and your shoulders. And then do sort of these self-care techniques. And then cool it down after, flush out the area by again moving or using manual manipulation to do that. So without further ado, here is a really great treatment for your neck. So in the beginning, we're going to do our warm-up. I would suggest doing a few shoulder rolls. We want to warm up these muscles at the top of your shoulders, your trapezius muscles. And you can do some rolls backwards and forwards. This gets at least the bottom of the muscle moving and starts moving some circulation through there. If you're feeling ambitious, you can do some of the bigger shoulder movements, and you can do quite a bit of this if you'd like to. For the time restraints of this video, I'm just going to do a light warm-up. And then the neck, so your trapezius muscle is quite large and comes from the middle of your back out in a triangle to the tips of your shoulders, up and across and up to the base of your skull. So these shoulder movements get that lower and middle part of the muscle, and then the upper portion we want to move the neck. So you could tuck your chin to your chest and then really gently and slowly move your neck side to side. If you want to, you could get the front of the neck a little bit by going all the way around. I find if you do have neck issues, sometimes this can aggravate things a little bit if you're not very mindful about how you go up and back. And often we don't need to actually stretch the front of the neck. So warming up the muscles this way with just a tiny bit of stretch and movement can be really helpful. And sometimes just doing this can be enough to help release the shoulders and the neck. And then you can do some manual warm-up. So you could use your hands to do a bit of a tissue squeeze. So grabbing on to the trapezius muscle, and make sure you're not digging into this area between the collarbone and this sort of triangle of the neck that's made by this muscle that pokes out a little bit here. So there's a triangle here that you don't want to dig into, but you can give the trapezius muscle a few squeezes on both sides, or even just rub your hands across that muscle to warm it up. And again, you can do this as much or as little as you want. You're in control. But whatever techniques that you find are the most effective for you, do those. Sometimes, again, this can be enough just to loosen up some of those muscles. So some squeezes there. And one of my favorite techniques to do on its own even is to do a neck grab, which I've done a video for before, but it's kind of like a mama dog or mama cat picking up their baby by the scruff of the neck. It's nice and slow, and you just grab on and really slowly squeeze. And you are affecting fascia here, so you want to go nice and kind of as slowly as you can go. Your tissues will often dictate the speed if you just sort of grab on and let whatever happens happen. And you can, while you're here, warm up the base of your skull, literally just rubbing your fingers back and forth. Will warm up the space where trapezius attaches to your skull. Make sure you don't plan to go anywhere fancy right after this. I know you're all just raring to get out and probably have very busy schedules, but you know, you're probably going to get some messy hair here. So luckily on your COVID schedule, you can probably chill out at home for a bit and not worry about messy hair. And sometimes it's nice just to give yourself a scalp massage while you're there. I won't get too far into that because I'll just be here for an hour giving myself a scalp and then a face and then an everything massage. So let's move into the meat of it. So everything kind of feels warmed up, and you can feel that there's some circulation moving. So at home, the best tool for this is a yoga block. I really like a foam yoga block because it's firm, but it has a little bit of give, so it's a little bit soft. It doesn't really matter what size you use, as you'll see, but here's two different sizes, a 4-inch and a 3-inch block. And so these are really handy. This one's a little firmer, this one's a little softer. I happen to have quite a few yoga blocks, and so I cut one in half. So this used to be like this. I cut it on a diagonal, and it's really handy for quite a few different things, which I can show you maybe a little later in a different video. But this one, if you happen to have a bunch and you feel like cutting one after seeing all this, this can be really, really handy. So this is another version. The other thing you can do if you don't happen to have a yoga block at home is take a stack of books, maybe wrap them in a pillowcase, or wrap them in a pillowcase and then tape them, just to make a stack of something. Optimally some soft cover books, so it's a little soft, or take some hardcover books and then wrap them in a towel and then pillowcase. Just all you're doing is creating a bit of a bench for your neck and head to sit on. Okay, so let's show you how this works. So you can always manually get in if you don't have blocks and the books just aren't working for you. You can always take your fingers and just get in there and give yourself a massage that way. But with the block, you can actually take the block and set it on the floor underneath you or your bed or wherever you're at. until the back of your neck sits, not the back of your neck, the back of your skull, the base of your skull sits on the edge of the block. And once you're there, you'll kind of feel it if you gently rock your head side to side. You'll rock over those trapezius muscles, and generally you'll know right away that you're there from the sensation. If you find that your block is too firm, and you happen to have options, you could move to a softer block. I find for myself the softer block feels just a little nicer. Or you could take your harder block and maybe put a towel over it, so it'll raise it back up, but it'll have a softer edge to it. And sometimes even just lowering the block takes a little bit of pressure off of the bulkier portion of the muscle, which can feel a bit better. So you can do those things. So really, it's super easy. All you got to do is rock your head back and forth. You can stay to one side and even rest there, or just really gently rock on that one side to rock over the muscle a little. And you can also just relax there. So you can get a bit of a back of the neck stretch. Many of us, especially if we are doing sitting or computer jobs, get quite tight neck extensors, and so giving that back of the neck and stretch for some of those muscles at the base of your skull can be really, really helpful. So resting there is nice. Now, if you happen to have a block that's chopped in half like mine, a Franken block, you can take that block. Let's see if I've got this right. Spin it around. I like doing the long edges in. You can bring it in so you get kind of a point. So your neck sits on that point a little bit, which digs in just a little bit further and can get into some more specific spaces. So you can get a little bit more into that space at the base of your skull. Again, make sure you're very careful and you go slowly and you do short sessions of this stuff so that you can gauge whether it's working well for you. And these are nice ones where you can kind of work a little more specifically. So yeah, you can try that. You can kind of rest on that pressure for a short period of time, as long as that's not causing problems. Sometimes you'll know that it's causing a problem if you start to feel a headache. And so if it's causing a headache, I would stop. There's two sides of that. One is to kind of keep going and work that out, and the other is to stop. In the beginning, I think it's smart to stop until you get a good gauge on how you feel after. Or if you really specifically know your body and how it responds to this kind of treatment, you could sort of work on to work out those spaces. So that's those three kind of different ways to use the block. Remember, after to flush it out, you can again sort of rub the back of your neck, and then down your neck is good. So flushing back towards your heart. So you're moving any metabolic waste and moving your lymph back towards your lymphatic centers so that your body can then process it. You can do some of those trap squeezes or just run your hands over your traps, and some of the movements, shoulder movements and neck movements. This is a really great time after you do this to go for a walk, so your whole body gets moving and your lymphatic system gets pumping overall to really flush that all out. It's nice to finish off sessions like this with something like a liniment. So you could take some liniment and rub it on after and help everything relax. So I hope that helps. If you have questions, please send me a message. I would love to answer them. If you want more direct guidance or you're feeling like you're getting it wrong, just get a hold of me. We can always do a little video session and I can give you a little bit more clear guidance and maybe watch what you're doing to give you some tips and pointers. I think that's it. I hope that helps, and I wish you well. Have fun at home, and I can't wait to see you guys in a few months. We'll see. Bye for now.